Okay, let's go. Good morning. I am ready. I'm ready for your therapy session, Panther fans. Huh? At least we're not the Leafs. I mean, at least we didn't lose to Nashville, right? Couldn't believe that. It was 2-0. I think it might have been 3-0. I thought maybe they got a goal waved off. Somebody had said it was 3-0 Toronto as I was walking away from the stream. And then the next thing I know, I wake up, Nashville wins 5-2. So nobody wants first place, I suppose, right? Nobody wants to play Ottawa. Hey, spaceman, yeah, the Atlantic, the whole thing is tight, right? I mean, if Tampa wins their game in hand, it'll be a three-way tie. It'll be a freaking three-way tie. Hey, Chopper, how you doing, buddy? iDog says, I freaking called at least lost to the Preds and we're still on top of the division. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Because once I was done with the recap, I had a late night. I wasn't paying attention to hockey last night after the game. Spaceman says Ottawa, the only team in the division that won last night. Yeah. iDog, most predictable thing ever. And Montreal lost, but they're still in that 8 seed. So, hey Simon, how you doing, buddy? So I went fishing one day this week. It's still too cold. There wasn't anything out there. But it was a good scouting trip because I need to find out where all the new logs are. You know, every year we get logs that come in with the tide and then they settle on the bottom. So looks like the ground's pretty clear this year, so that's good. But there's no fish just yet. It's still too cold. I mean, it's only 42 degrees right now. So hopefully, I keep saying another week, but March has just been too cold at night. Chopper says, if we lose to the Pittsburgh Crosbys tonight, sell the team. I know. I'm sorry, Vincent. We didn't. We had no hope. And Vincent, I think that's why he played Vanacek. I think Maurice knew the shape that the team would be in, end of a road trip against the Capitals. And I think he just threw Vanacek out there as a sacrifice. That's what I think. iDog says the Islanders and Montreal losses hurt, but let's show those teams some respect. They're fighting for their playoff lives. Islanders are only 2 points out of a spot. Yeah. Well, Montreal's played well. Look, the same thing has happened since Ekblad went out, at least. When the other teams are turning on their energy and really trying to score and play hard and fast, we don't have anything we're not matching. We're just not matching. Oh, hey, guys. So our old friend Lucas Carlson made his Sharks debut last night and had a goal and an assist. The one that got away. I never understood why. I think it was size was the reason why we didn't want to keep him around. But he certainly has some offensive ability. So that's good. Maybe they're going to keep him around. Vincent says, having said that, we can't deny the Caps look solid, very solid team. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Not that Logan Thompson is specifically a question mark, but I think that would be the only question. Is obviously he hasn't taken a team on a long run before. He looked a little shaky in the first period last night, but then shut the door on us. Hey, Rosado, what are you getting yourself into? I don't know, man. What are you doing? Where are we today, Rosado? Disney, SeaWorld, Universal, Busch Gardens. Where are we? Jay says, hey, Jaws was grinning ear to ear at the Leafs loss. Got to see it. It was good to see, right? iDog, you think I'm right? The Caps won't go on a deep run. I'm just going to keep saying it. Hope. Fingers crossed, right? You're in Vegas today, Rosado, eh? Rosado is a world traveler. When do you ever do school? Like every weekend, you're in a different location. One of these days, I expect to get you're gonna be you know, in some Caribbean island somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Eyes what happens in Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. That I don't even think I've stopped over on any of my flights. I don't think so. Kate says, agree about the Caps great in the season's second round exit at best. I mean, I wouldn't mind not playing them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I would definitely be okay playing somebody else if we made it that far. Dana wants to know, is Rosado a Nepo baby? What's a Nepo baby? I don't know what that is, Dana. I'm going to learn a new word today. Idaho says Vegas playing Tampa today, and we have the Penguins. Can we please start building that division lead again? Do we want Ottawa in the first round? We had a 4-point lead not that long ago, didn't we? So, Simon, how do I think the Panthers are going to do the rest of the NHL season? Kulikov being hurt on top of Ekblad being out, that's hurting. There's no doubt about that. Having Bournefoot and Balinskis on the ice is not great. I don't see this team playing with a whole lot of energy. That said, they still keep ending up in first place, so maybe they're going to do the bare minimum, but want to win the division. I says I went to Vegas once. I was too young to enjoy it. Craig says, I'm not sure if you're aware of the Panthers' 6th-round draft pick from last year's draft, but Hunter St. Martin is definitely finding the twine this season with the Medicine Hat Tigers in the WHL. His shot is fire. Yeah, we've had a few people bring him up, Craig. Thanks. I appreciate that. We've had a few people that are pretty high on Martin. Yeah, exactly, Vincent. In other words, are your parents rich, or is it just your mom that's rich? Because watch out for Trey if that's the case. Oh, you went to Vegas when you were 10. What are you going to do in Vegas when you're 10, right? Dennis says, I miss Cooley. He can actually defend. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, Simon, I don't watch any basketball whatsoever. I couldn't tell you a thing about basketball, unfortunately. I stopped watching basketball a long time. I says Trey's like sugar mamas. Trey likes some yeah. Trey likes all women. Let's put it that he's not picky. He's not picky. Trey is a experiential extraordinaire. I don't know. Trey's going to be competing with Zach Wilson. Oh, my God. I can't believe that's the move the Dolphins made. My God. It's just absurd. So it should make for good. It should make for good content, though. Good. When Tua gets hurt, it's not if, but when he gets hurt, I cannot wait to see the Mike McDaniel press conference praising Zach Wilson. That I'm looking forward to the views on that particular video. I says there are reports coming out that the Sam Bennett talks are going well and both sides want to get it done. Outstanding. We got to have Sam Bennett. It's of all the guys, although now you look at the team, I mean, I suppose you could say we could probably try to replace Ekblad. How comfortable are we with that, though? Are we comfortable if Ekblad walks and Jones is the replacement? Kind of makes me a little bit queasy. Would it be worse? Would Jones Forsling end up being worse than Ekblad Forsling? Can't be worse, right? IDK says we need Ekblad to take a team-friendly deal. I tend to agree there. Yeah. Dennis says, I'm a Broncos fan, neutral observer. I actually think the Dolphins made a good move. Well, Dennis, here's the thing. The Dolphins are the opposite of the Panthers. When the Panthers get somebody mediocre, he comes to the team and he does better. With the Dolphins, we get guys that are mediocre and okay, and they kind of get worse. That's my concern, is that we have a tendency to take guys in and when they go elsewhere, suddenly they can play. Hi, dog. Vincent says, so they held an all-star game next. Oh, so wait, they are? They're going to hold an all-star game before the Olympics? What? Oh, what idiots. Yeah, I agree, Arcade. Yeah, we're going to try to get to the gym this week, Simon. I got there a few times this week. I'm sore. Problem with Kyle is he sleeps too late. So he can't get to the gym till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I've already worked a full day by then. Tired. So I take him sometimes in the afternoon, but then my workout sucks. But the Panthers made sure I got a good workout in last night, right? Damn it. 6 goals. That's a good question. Eyes. What do I think Ekblad could get on the open market? That's a really good question. I mean, there's always somebody willing to overpay, but there's always somebody that sees something in a guy that other people don't. I don't know. I mean, he's already making 7.5, 8. Can't imagine he getting much more than that. I could be wrong. Ekblad is such a hard gauge. Craig says Medicine Hat Tigers the game will be live on YouTube at 7 p.m. tonight. It's on YouTube, huh? That's interesting. Unfortunately, we got the Panthers game tonight, but I'll keep that in mind. If they've got games going on YouTube, I guess it's just the team streaming it to YouTube. Greg says Ekblad's definitely a major piece to the team. I agree. Yeah. Right. Would another team take Ekblad as a cheaper second or third pair of defensemen? Oh, I'm sure they would. But would they pay him enough to make him leave depending on what we're going to give him? Kate says none of the goals were Ovi. We could have at least helped him he's going to get it next year. And then, he's going to need like 2 goals to start the season. So the tickets to the first 2 or 3 Capitals games, the prices are going to be absolutely absurd because everybody's going to want to be there. Colin, yeah, they blew a 2-0 lead. I know. Rosario, you saw Michael Jackson, Cirque du Soleil. You have to explain that. So I'm reading Simon. So after the NHL this year, in my opinion, what do I think the Panthers put? I'm not understanding the question, buddy. After the NHL is in this year, in my opinion, what do I think the Panthers would put? If you're asking me what I think we're going to do, we got to get a backup goalie. I don't know if Vanacek is it. He's kind of in career meh. Wasn't terrible last night. We got to figure out what we're doing with this defense. I don't know what the hell Zito's doing unless they knew about Ekblad's suspension and got Seth Jones specifically to replace Ekblad. I don't know what. I'm not really sure how Zito's playing this with all the extra money that we got going out the door. Unless maybe Zito's got somebody pegged that he's planning to trade, like a Verhaeghe, who's got a no-move clause, so he can't plan on that. I can't really figure out exactly what Zito's thinking is. Seth Jones, is he permanently with Mikula? That is such an expensive second pair. Dog says Dangle thinks the Leafs saw Tampa and us lose, and the pressure of taking the division got to them. Right? Yeah, absolutely agree, Dennis. Yeah. No, he wasn't great, but I mean, two of them went off skates. Two of them were going wide, and then they went off skates. It was just, and then the one with 7 seconds in. I mean, everybody's just getting beat yesterday on defense. Kate says, still have no idea what the hell he was thinking when he traded Knight. So I think it's because Bob's going to extend, Kate. I think Bob is going to sign for another 3 years, at least 2, if not 3. And so at some point you were going to have to move on from Spencer Knight and get what assets you could get back out of him. And so I understand what they did. Jones is Ekblad insurance. You know, we added $7 million, but we lost $4.5. I don't know what Vanacek makes. So the Knight was just not going to get a chance to play here, right? So under those circumstances, you know, what were we going to do? Wait to see if somebody gave him an offer sheet next year and see if we could get the picks or whatever that would come from that? Because somebody would give him an offer sheet, and I doubt we would have matched because we're going to have Bob for sure. So under those circumstances, Spencer's value right now could be as high as it was going to get because he proved he could come back from the assistance program and was healthy. And you start, you know, you go into next season, teams would know that we were up against the clock with getting him a contract, and his value may not be as high. So it surprised me too, though. It absolutely surprised me. But the more I thought about it, the position Zito was in, I mean, he put himself in that position. He's the one that gave him the contract. But he didn't draft him. He didn't draft him or sign Bob. So we need another backup goalie that nobody knows about that can come in and turn into a Stolars. And that's the good question there. Occam's Razor says, I don't know who they can get if Ekblad leaves. Right. Because if you let Ekblad walk, you put Jones with Forsling, you basically re-signed Ekblad for $7 million in 5 years. I mean, and gave up Spencer Knight to do it, right? The way the Knight trade works and makes it the way to make the Knight trade look really good is if you can place Jones on the second pair with Mikula and Ekblad takes a team-friendly deal and stays with Forsling for 3 or 4 years. If you could pull that off, then in a weird kind of way, that adds value to the Spencer Knight trade. And Ekblad screwed himself. His market value is going to be down a little bit now, right? Yeah, I wish Jones would have scored in the game that we won so we could enjoy it more. Yep. Vincent says there's free agents on the D market. I think it's time for a change there. Plus, Cooley is such a good player to have on the third pair for cheap. Zito must take advantage of the situation and add. Right, we also need money for Sam Miskevich. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's guys out there, Vincent. Ekblad supposedly was going to be one of the top guys out there. Either way, the only way that you can really make it, I think the best thing is to try to get a cheaper option to fit with Forsling and leave Kulikov or leave Mikula with Jones. I'm just not sure that I want to go the whole banana with Jones on the top pair. But with that money, it's tough. Rosado, yeah, Bubba is definitely going to re-sign. It's just a matter of how many years and what kind of money we're going to give them. Oh, who we think? I think Simon. I think the Panthers are going to end up playing Ottawa. I don't think the Leafs want to win the division, and I think despite ourselves, I think the Panthers are still going to win the division and probably end up playing Ottawa. How much is Jacob Chikrin going to cost? I don't know. What's his contract? Who said what a game? Hey, Silva. Kulikov. Yeah, right. Craig says, Bob, 4x6. I'd do that. I would do that. Colin, is Sam Owen the rookie for running for rookie of the year? No, not quite. CHY. He might get some lower tier votes. Do they do like first, second, and third place? But there's a few other guys that are going to be ahead of him. What's Chikrin's contract? So he's got. Oh, he's signed, right? How many years does he have left, or is that the last year? Let's see. He's got a 4.6 cap hit, but this is the last year of his contract. He's 26. So Chikrin is not going to come cheap because this is like his prime contract years. So I can't imagine he's going to want less than 5. Silva says if Becky was on the ice, it would have been 33-9. Am I worried about the swag contract, Matthew? Ask me again after the playoffs. That's the truth. Ask me again after the playoffs. Amanda's right yesterday when she said, Swaggy gets paid for what he does in the playoffs. Somebody's going to have to step up. I mean, I don't know. Are we going to be getting a healthy, rested Kachuk back? We'll see. I know it says, I like the move Zito made, but what hurt us is Ekblad screwing up and then Kulikov getting hurt. Yeah. 100% agree, iDog. Yeah. Communist, the 3 Atlantic leaders didn't want to play last night. We played a period. We did play one period, right? Yeah, Matthew, the plus minus is just not the same, right? Vincent says Chicken probably should get $8 million, but that's $7 million in Florida. I don't think we have that though, right? We can't have that after we paid Bennett. You'd have to move Rodriguez or Luster-Reinen, which could happen, by the way, right? If they wanted to go, if they really wanted to spend some money on the defense, you could see a Luster-Reinen or a Rodriguez get moved to clear up a little bit of space. Not saying I want that to happen, but do we send someone for Rasmus Anderson? I don't know. What's his contract? Let's see. At least Google knows to tell me. 6 year, 27. So he's got 4.5 million. How much time is left on his contract, though? He's got 1 more year at 4.5. Would Calgary pick up the phone, though? Would Calgary pick up the phone? It's a good question, Rosato. Greg says, hypothetically, if Ottawa was to surprise everyone and beat the Panthers in the first round, would management start a rebuild or let it ride another season? No, we don't need. We're still in our prime. We're still in our prime cup winning years. This team is going to win another cup. It just might not happen this year, or it might. But no team. I keep saying this. No team since the 80s Oilers has been to 3 Stanley Cup finals in a row with 82 game seasons. It's tough. And whatever energy they have left, they sure as hell are not expending it right now. That's for sure. Yeah, Brent Burns is a little bit older, right? Yeah. Hey, Derek. Yeah, Chikrin's having a career year contract season, Matthew. He's 26 and he's playing on a contract season. That tends to happen with those guys, right? Just ask Huberto. iDog says, I just can't get mad at Verhaeghe. He bailed us out so many times in the first finals run, and he scored the first goal in Game 7 with the Oilers. It's a good point. Good point. Jack. We don't know. Oh, Dmitry Orlov is a UFA. That's interesting. Huh. Vincent, 100%. He says, can we agree the third line needs a scoring player? It's not Sachin. If it's not Sachin next year, you guess they'd bring somebody in. 100% agree. Boquist, I got to look this up. I keep saying it, but I want to see if he scored a goal since he got paid. So he, what was the day that he signed this? March 4th was the day that he signed his contract. When's the last time Boquist scored a goal? Let's go to game logs. He hasn't scored a goal, Jesus, since January 25th. Yeah. To Vincent's point about the third line, we gave Boquist that contract, 2 years, $1.5 million each. It's an interesting deal for a guy. He had been playing pretty well, but then in the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In the last 20 games, he's got 3 assists and no goals. That's not great. That's not great. I appreciate that, Jack. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, that's not good, man. For the third, for a guy that's supposed to be on that right side on the third line. So he hadn't scored in a little while when we gave him the contract, right? It's interesting. He had already not scored in multiple games. We gave him that contract. He hadn't scored a goal in over a month. It's very interesting. So, yeah, it'd be nice. And he's had some games with some shots, but too many games were just one shot, no shots. Then it says cheap young talent is imperative to balance out a team's salary structure. Absolutely. 100% agree. But he's got to put the puck in the back of that a little bit, right? Rosado, Magda plays tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me. She's doing good. I don't want to jinx it for her. I don't want to say anything. So that's doing good. Simon, once hockey is over, we cover it all the way to the end, right? By the time hockey is over, the regular season and the playoffs, there's like 10 days until free agency. And then once hockey free agency is over, you basically got about a month until football preseason games start playing. It's not a lot of downtime. During that time, we spend a lot of time, Colin and I try to go to the auctions and get some merchandise to sell on eBay. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Verhage score our only hat trick this year? It's possible. Did Reinhardt get one? Got to stream baseball, Jaws. Zato, I have to, I can't imagine that would be a profitable thing. Let's see. Did Reinhardt get a hat trick this year? Why do I feel like somebody else might have had one? I know Verhages. Reinhardt had 2 twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Reinhardt has had 2 goals 5 times. But even he has cooled off considerably recently. So, no, I don't think anybody else got a hat trick. I got to build a shark aquarium. I do want to get a fish tank. I know he says not counting the new guy. Verhage is 5th on the team for goals, but he's got the worst plus minus, which is different than what we're used to with him. Let's go to back to the players here. Verhage is at minus 19. Bennett is minus 10. Reinhardt's only a plus 8. Nobody is getting even close to 100 points this year. I don't even think anybody's going to get 90. I don't think anybody's even going to get 90. Verhage has 0 overtime goals. He does have 5 game-winning goals, so that's good. Mackie Samoskevich is tied with Barkov for second on the team with 4 game-winning goals. And he's a +1 with 26 points. Seth Jones is a minus 22. Ekblad's a +11. Lundell's +15. They have Marchand stats there, but those aren't for us. And Chucky's a -3. You've had a saltwater for 12 years? Yeah, I like to do the fresh water. It's easier to maintain. The salt water is a lot. It's expensive, and it's a lot of work to maintain it. I can see how you get burnt out on it. I like to do the cichlids. I like to do the cichlids in fresh water. I used to have a lot of good tanks. The cichlids, you keep the water warm, you're good, right? And they make the baby. I like it when the cichlids, if you put real life plants in there, the cichlids will reproduce. And every once in a while, they don't eat all the babies too. Yeah, with lots of corals, that's a lot of work, Matthew. That's a lot of work. I know it. I had a saltwater before, years ago, when the kids were young. I got Marchand has the most game-winning goals, right? Vincent says, are we still Sharks territory? We can have sharks in the fish tank, Vincent. Yeah. We can build there's freshwater sharks. Yeah, that's what True is saying. Here, I'll show you. There are freshwater sharks. Water aquarium sharks, though. They're like little miniature sharks. Here you go. Those are the ones. Hold on, let me share the page. Dennis, when you're talking about young talent, you're talking about a Sordif instead of Jesper. Right. No disagreement. I was surprised at the Boquist. I was surprised at the Boquist extension, but maybe that's for the 4th line for next year. I don't know. Here you go, Vincent. See? These are the kinds that I had before, like these guys here. They can get pretty big. Doesn't exactly look like a shark, but that's what they're called. There's freshwater sharks. I've had these guys before. They're very hardy. Here's a good picture. See, they're like little mini, like tarpon. They look like little mini tarpon, but they're sharks. Michael says, "Where is the Bornfoot live today?" Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, don't even get me started about that guy's night. Jeez, we were trying to forget about him. I don't know what we're gonna do. We can't be surviving too many defensive injuries. Ekblad, the timing of this whole thing with Ekblad, man, just something. Oh, love. The Bornfoot love is not the no, not today, not today. He played a decent game against Columbus. Last night was bad. Vincent says they don't look like sharks. I know, but that's the name. That's the name of them. They don't swim at the top with the fin out of the water either. So what can you do? But yeah, Bornfoot was not Bornfoot. I don't know what his advanced stats were last night, but we allowed 6 goals. I think Bornfoot was -10. Then it says, I hope we can keep some draft picks at some point. Drafting our own guys and developing them would be nice, like Sam. Yeah, that's why I keep wanting Zito to have first-round picks. Zito's had 2. He has used 2 first-round picks on actual players, Lundell and Samoskevich. You thought I saw the movie? Yeah, I seen the movie. What are you talking about? Michael says, Joe Jaws, you were realistic about him when I told you his stat. The chat loves him like he's Cale Makar. Well, hoping, right? You know, you get in a situation like that and you're hoping the guy's going to at least be adequate, right? Like we don't need guys going to get a bunch of goals on defense. We just need guys that are going to be adequate. That's all. Last night was Michael says all I've said about him is he's not good enough for our team right now. I would agree there. He had one good game though. It was a good game. But yeah, no disagreement. We can't have that kid on the ice come playoff time. I really wish they would have gotten one more veteran guy, or maybe throw Kiersted out there. Why won't they try Kiersted? I see, Michael. People acting like you said he's the worst. He was pretty bad last night. He made Belinskas look okay last night. Favorite fish to put in the tank: cichlids, Oscars. Yeah, I like the colorful ones. Michael says should have traded Bornfoot and kept Adam by the numbers. I mean, hindsight. I mean, Boquist had just not. He had a couple of bad games. I think the point is that if the decision is between Bornfoot and Boquist and Belinskas, if those are the guys who are worried about how many of them, if we got to have 2 of them on the ice at the same time, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, he shouldn't be so bad to make Belinskas look good. Yeah, it was. I mean, even Forsling got beat off the draw yesterday to start the second period. I mean, it's 3-3. You just played an ass first period defensively. Where's the leadership? Where is Maurice? He did call it a timeout. When it was 5-3? I think he called a timeout, right? It just, the only thing that makes any sense is that Maurice just knows these guys energetically are cooked, and he just doesn't want to yell at them and doesn't feel like pressing a bunch of buttons. Yeah, Forsling is tired and overworked. No doubt there, Michael. Yeah. Dennis says the D-man prospect pool is a mess. It's not fantastic. Right? Think we got the one guy, the one big guy. I mean, it's not. Let's look at this. Charlotte Checkers. Come on. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Let's look. Roster. So defensively, we got Benning, Kiersted, Megna, Carrick, Vandy Sompel, Horvolka. That's the one guy that could be something. Dennis Cessna, who's 5'9", 188, and Merrick Alsher. So you've got Benning at 5'9", 177, and Cessna at 5'9", 188, who are never getting on the ice. Mitch Vandy Sample, 5'10", 190. He's probably not getting on the ice. Now, this Jacob Megna kid, he's 6'6", 220 from Plantation, right? He was a 7th round pick, so he's not a kid. He was a 7th round pick of Anaheim in 2012. So how old is he? He's like almost my age. He's an old dude. He's not young. Michael says it's not a message, just 2 to 4 years from being up to par. There's just not a lot. There's just not a lot there, right? JC says, since we're talking about fish, what are the similarities between a Cuban and a what? Oh my God. He says I'm Cuban, the joke is allowed. Jesus, I almost read that. Oh my God, JC's lost his mind this year. Vincent says the only bad decision is not get a shark for your pet. It's your call. We won't be mad, just disappointed. How the hell am I supposed? Where the hell am I supposed to put the shark? To get a saltwater tank, if y'all want to pay for it, saltwater tanks are expensive. You can't go small. You got to know what you're doing, especially in this house. Keeping the water warm should be interesting. Yeah, there's just not a lot of talent. Well, hell, this is what we need to look at. We haven't invested. So Florida, let's look at the draft picks. Draft history. Let's see here. If you just look at the positions. So last year we took one defenseman, Matvei Shurovin. Okay. The year before that, we took 2 defensemen, Wickman and Coughlin. I don't know where they are right now. In 2022, we took Alsher in the first round. Third round, because we don't have first round picks. And then we took Ludwig Jansen in the 4th round. I'm looking at the rest of these picks. There's not a lot. Luke Coughlin, we took in the 6th round in 23. 21, we took Samoskevich in the 1st round. Then we took Naus in the 2nd round and Lukasevich in the 3rd round and H in the 7th round. And none of these guys are they're not playing in Charlotte. If they're still with the team, I don't know where they are. Then it says Grayson Sawchin, Shuravan, Benning, Sordiff, Erickson are the guys being written about in our farm system. Yeah. Sawchin, St. Martin, sort of, but Benning is not. Benning, I don't think that's a pick of ours. I think that's just somebody that we picked up. No, there he is. Fourth. We took him in the 4th round of 2020, right? So, I know it takes defensemen a while to develop, but we haven't developed. The last defenseman that we drafted and developed that came up and was a even moderately successful defenseman, and I just mean a little bit successful, was Riley Stillman. We took him in 2016. And if you go back before that, it's Ekblad. There's Ekblad. Where's Weegar? Where the hell is Weegar? Where the hell was Weegar? Why is Weegar not on here? He was a 5th. He was like a 6th or a 7th. Was he the year before? That's interesting. I didn't even realize that. We took Weegar the year before Ekblad. For some reason, I thought we took him after. I'll be back to the chat in a second. So we did draft some guys on defense, and then we just stopped drafting guys. So like in 2012, we drafted Matheson, and he played. Then 13, we drafted McCoshen, and he played. Josh Brown and Mackenzie Weegar. They all played. Then we took Ekblad in 2014. And then since after we took Ekblad, the only defenseman that we have drafted that played for us in any capacity at all, basically, is Riley Stillman in the fourth round of the 2016 draft. I'm looking here. I don't see any other defenseman. Ludwig played like 2 games with us, I think. Yeah. We're not investing in defensemen. Not any that have. I'm not saying he was a success, Vincent. I'm just saying that actually just like made to the team and like played. Yeah, there was Matheson. Yeah. Hold on a second. Where the hell's Matheson? When did we draft Matheson? Why am I not seeing it here? We took Matheson before Ekblad as well. Doesn't seem like it, does it? But no, Matheson was in 2012. Matheson was in 2012. So since Ekblad, the only guy that we have drafted and developed that even really came up and played for 5 minutes with the team was Stillman. JC, we drafted Weegar the year before Ekblad. We drafted Weegar in 2013 let me see. 2013, the last pick of our draft, 7th round pick, Mackenzie Weegar. It didn't seem like it, but we actually drafted Matheson and Weegar before Ekblad. And yeah, that's an awful statistic, isn't it, Dennis? That's bad. That's bad. So I don't know what Vincent says Stillman played a total of 3 games this year, 0 last year. Yeah. That's it. Since Ekblad, that's the closest we have come to drafting an NHL defenseman. That's bad. It's really bad. Now, who knows what some of these guys that Zito has taken in the last few years are going to turn out. But for whatever reason, we're not investing in that position at all. Good point, iDog. Weegar worked out because we won a cup because of him. That's true. Then it says looking like we don't have someone that can spot defensive talent. Well, the interesting thing about that is that that spans two different regimes, right? Because that's Talon, and that's the 5 minutes Rowe was there, and it's also Zito. There have been some decent drafts, but like Carter Berger, and I mean in 2019, Talon's last draft, he took three more defensemen. Koyanchuk, Ludwig, and Carter Berger. Now, Ludwig, we lost. I don't know what we did with the other two kids. Then when Zito came in, he took Lundell, obviously Sordiff, and then he drafted three defensemen as well in Zito's first draft: Benning, Zachary Jens, and Casper Pudio. So, and Benning is what? I mean, he's 5'9", 177 pounds. What the hell are we going to... I weigh more than him. What is he going to... I mean, he's a right-hander. He's 23. Tommy says, how many other Stanley Cup winning teams drafted defensemen? Well, somebody has to draft a good defenseman, right? They come from somewhere, right? Like somebody drafted Forsling, and we took him. JC says, so do we draft a defenseman or a goalie? Well, that's the next problem. That's the next problem. I'm getting hungry. Let's see. We've got nothing until the fourth round this year. We got 2 fourth rounders, 2 fifths, a sixth, and a seventh. The next year we have a 2, a 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7. And then in 27, we've got a 1, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, and 2 7s. But is that one of the conditional ones? Are we still gonna get to keep that one? Isn't that one that we could still lose in the Seth Jones trade or the Marchand trade? One of those two? I don't know. Michael says the Blackhawks drafted Forsling. Thank you, iDog. Yeah. Goalie is not an issue for 3 or 4 years of the defense right now. Yeah. Dennis says Future Watch article only has Benning as a good prospect. Well, how what about this big dude? Is he how old is he? Let's see. I mean, how old is he? He is 32. He's not a kid. He's already long since he's 6'6", 214. He's been mostly an AHL guy. Yeah, really, seriously, mostly an AHL guy. He's made it a couple times. Anaheim, San Jose, Seattle. He played 44 games for Chicago the year before last. And I guess so that's not anybody that's coming and doing anything for us anytime soon. So that's depressing. So with that as the backdrop, I think Ekblad, that's the article that Ekblad's going to bring to his contract negotiation is look at what you guys have in the AHL, right? Can you imagine trying to replace Ekblad with Mike Benning? Ekblad's almost a foot taller than the guy. I don't think that's going to work out. Jeez. Well, we got our cup. We're going to get one more. This core is going to get another cup or 3. Just don't know about this one. Michael says all the major hockey publications say we have roughly the 4th best prospects in the league. I think they mean they're in forwards. Yeah. We are so rich with forward talent we can trade for the D. It's not a bad thought process. Right? What about that guy Ulster that we drafted? What's his deal? And he wasn't a first round pick. He was Merrick Ulster. Yeah. He was our first pick of the draft because we didn't have anything until the 3rd. So he's 6'3", 206. He's only 20. He's a lefty, though. He's not a righty. So he played in Czech last year, didn't do a whole lot. And then this year's with the Checkers, 43 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, -4, but he's a defenseman, so there's no way to really know how he's playing with that basic stat. But he's a lefty. 6'3", 206. He's got good size, but there's no righty there. Michael says so many teams are not good all around. They need something like when we gave all the Eastern teams goalies. Yeah. I think that's kind of why they keep trying to throw Bournefoot out there. Maybe they crossing their fingers that they could strike gold with Bournefoot, even just to make him he was a first-round pick, right? You would think you could turn the guy into a suitable bottom pair defenseman. But from what I've seen of him, it kind of looks like he has the physical ability, but in terms of reading the play and knowing where to be at the right time, I think that's the problem. I hate to say it. Shervin is just 19. Maybe he can be something. That could be there, yeah. Good size makes Shaw's excited. All right. I got to go. I got to eat some food. And we're going to be live again in 5 hours. We'll be live again in 5 hours, right? Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. Wanted to make sure. All right, I got to go get some lunch and get some sleep. It was a late night. It was a late night. It was a good late night, but it was definitely a late night. Kyle, we ended up playing Uno with Kyle. And if any of you know anything about Uno, me, Kyle, and Donna played almost a 2-hour Uno game. We went through 4 decks. Nobody won. We couldn't even finish 1 round of Uno. We each got Uno 1 time, and then we ended up drawing cards. Oh, hey, Jake. I'm sorry, brother. Dang it. Yeah, I got to go get some food. I'm fading. My energy level is Thank you again for last night, Jake, by the way. Much appreciated, brother. Genuinely. Seriously, man. Ted, did I see what Baldwin's wife did to him? No, I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out. So, all right. Appreciate all the support, everybody. Yeah, 6 o'clock. We'll be there. I'll be a little bit more lively. I got to eat. I got to eat and I got to get some rest. It was last I saw the clock, it was 12:30. It was a late night. I got to get some brain cells. All right, everybody. We'll see you tonight at 6.